That was interesting, wasn't it? Whoa, but anyways, today we have an unboxing to do. We've got this really cool light to play with. This is the Weeylite model K21. Now, just to let you know, the company sent this to me. I did not purchase this. I'm not sponsored by them. They simply sent this to me to review. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We'll find out the good and the bad and how good actually is the light. So without further ado, let's get into the unboxing of this because it looks really good. It's got a lot of cool features to it. Let me just grab my little handy dandy knife here. And let's see what we get in the box. All right, got a few things here. We have the manual in multi-languages as per normal. Your standard type of warranty card. We have a USB to USB-C cable, very handy, a little short, but I've noticed lately all the companies are making these cables shorter and shorter, so you might want to pick up a longer one if you need it, but it does come with a cable. And I take it this is our light. This is a certification little sticker thing, and it's in a little plastic bag here. Oh, this is kind of neat. So this is our light here. This is what it looks like. This is kind of interesting. So we have all our controls on the back side here and our light on the front. Now, this is a very cool light. It is bicolor, 2500K to 8500K. It's also full RGB. That's kind of neat. And what's neat is on both ends, it has a 1/4 inch thread so we can mount it to a stand or a tripod. That is very handy. It also has another interesting little feature if you don't have a stand to put it on. It's magnetic on both ends here. So you can attach this onto metal. So you don't even need a stand. Kind of handy. This can be controlled from all these little controls on the back of the unit. The other thing is, it can be controlled by an app. That's right, it's Bluetooth. So you can connect this to Bluetooth and control it through your cell phone. And it's available for iOS and Android. And the neat thing is, you can control more than just one light. You could have a bunch of these and control them from your phone. Now, it gets even one step better than that because you can put it in different groups and control different groups of lights. So if you're buying more than one, you can put them on separate channels or in the same channel. So we're going to have a look at all that. We're going to get into the setup of all this stuff. I think it's going to be kind of neat. Now, the battery life on this, they say 1 hour full out. So if this is on maximum setting, you got about an hour plus or minus for battery life. They say up to 6 hours plus or minus on lower settings and what you're doing with it. Now, the recharge time for this, they say approximately 3 hours. So 1 hour full open, 3 hours to charge back up. I will put up right now, boom, there's all the specs and stats on the unit. Pause the video, have a look at it, and go over it. Now, I think the next thing we need to do, because we kind of, that's all that's in the box. You don't get a lot, but what we need to do now is we need to get the app installed. We need to set this up, and we need to go through the back of all these little controls. Step by step, we're going to go through them all. We're going to review it, and I'll give you my final conclusion at the end. So let's get this set up right now and see how good it is. Before we get into the little details here, I did want to let you know that this sells for $70 US. Now, it was dead, completely dead, when I unboxed it. I went to turn it on, nothing, not a blip, nada. So I plugged it in and recharged it from dead. It took 4 hours. The USB-C part, when I plugged it into here, it was a little loose and I had to jiggle it a bit to get the indicator on that it was actually charging. I'm not sure if that's all makes models, might be the cable, might be the unit. I'll have to try another cable. Just wanted to update you on that. Now, we're going to go through all the different controls on the back of the unit here and go through them one by one. Let's have a look to see what all this can do. The red button here turns the unit on. Just press and hold. It gives you the indicator and the software version number. And as you can see, the light is on. That is set at 10%. It is fairly bright. So you can imagine what 100's like, which I'll show you shortly. Now, this comes into the last mode that you actually had it in. So it doesn't default back to a standard one, it's the one you're in. Now I'm in the CCT and I've got 4 little control panels here. The bottom one here where the arrow's going back and forth, as you can see, allows me to go through those 3 settings. So the first one is brightness. So I can use the plus and minus here to increase and decrease the light. And you can see you can press and hold to increase, that is at 100%. And we can decrease, and you just simply have to hold that. You can click it down, or you can hold and it'll run itself down. So say I want to get down to about the 10% again, because it is on the bright side otherwise. Next we move down, and we have our color temp. Again, plus or minus will change that. So I simply need to hold the controls, and you can see how that's changed now to the warm. So that's your bicolor. The CCT is basically your bicolor. Here's the plus, and I'll just show it down on the table, and you can see we've gone to a bluer light. Now we move down to the next one, and it's R/G, meaning if you have a slight color cast to your video, you can adjust the temp from of a magenta basically to a green. So that's kind of handy. So that's the CCT, your bicolor. We hit set, it goes into our next mode, which is HSL. Now again, I'm at 10% because I don't want to blind you or me. The plus or minus again, I will hit the plus and you will see that it increases light power and the minus decreases the light power. I then hit this button, we come down and you've got the 3 little circles because that would be indicative of a color variation. So you can see I'm going through some different colors here, blues, purples, and it'll go all the way through the whole gambit of colors for you. You can see it changing on the table there. Now I move to the next button, and it is your saturation. So I can take off the amount of saturation and desaturate, or using the plus, I can deepen that bad boy right up. So if I come back up into this one, you really see when I'm shifting the colors how I get that vibrant color in there. And I'll just kind of sit and hold that. Hopefully you can see that on video. You should be able to see it quite well on the overhead that I'm doing. So that's the HSL. It is your full RGB color spectrum with saturation control, which is nice. I come back into the set button and we're into RGB. I can change this to whatever I want. So if I add with a plus, I'm now into the red scale and I can increase the red intensity. So this allows you to dial in specifically the exact color you want by putting in your RGB values, which is very, very handy. And you just use this control again and you can see. So I can come down, add a little bit of blue to that. Got a nice little aqua happening. So you can see how handy that is in the RGB. Let's get into the next one. This is our 4th and final mode. It has 4 modes. This one, check that out. It has 29 built-in scenes. That is very, very handy. Again, you have your brightness control. The next one down is your speed. Fast, slow, and normal. Click down next is your scene. And you can go through all these different scenes that are on here. There's 29 of them. Oh, that'll give you a seizure. Be aware of blinding lights. So that is all your controls on the back. You have 4 modes in which to play with. Now we did talk about groups and channels. If you hold the set button down, see how it's now switched to your channel and your group. So you have channel 1, and then you have different groups available to you to assign the light to. That is amazing, that you can chain these things together. I simply hold the set button again, and I'm back into my normal controls. So your set button will go through all your different modes. Your plus and minus is your adjustments up and down within that mode. and the by arrow, it's pointing both ways, will go down through 3 because each mode has 3 adjustments you can do to it, which is very handy to have. So that's it for the back of the unit. For controls, I'm just going to turn that off and it says bye-bye. How handy. How cool is that? Full control on the back. It gets better though. It now has an app available to it, and I've already installed the app on my phone, and I got to say, it was flawless. They give you a QR code. I scanned it, took me to the store, downloaded it, opened it, boom. It just asked for Bluetooth access to my phone. I said yes, done. And it's that easy. Now I'm going to show you what the app looks like and go over all the little controls on it. But everything you got here, you have a remote distance. And I believe up to a maximum of 20 meters it can work. I haven't tested the distance, but 20 meters is a pretty long way away from your light. Let's have a look at the app. All right, best way to show you the app is like this. I have the app open on my cell phone. You're seeing it live. Controls at the top, I've got on, off. The next one is CH1, which is your channel. If you remember for grouping them, look at 29 channels. We don't need any set. We're just going to leave it channel 1. Next to that, I believe, is a Chinese language and then English language. So the on, off, boom, there, the light's on. The ABCDF, that is your groups you can put your lights in. Underneath that is your bicolor, your RGB color, and your scene. It works that easy. And it's fully controllable. And look at all the different, I'm just running through all the different light presets underneath and a custom one in the bicolor. Now, this is magnetic. Let's go magnetic it to something. There we go. So I hooked it on the shelf behind me by magnet. Now, let's get into the RGB. As you can see, that color wheel, I'm just simply going to take my finger around that color wheel and give her a spin. Let's get a little bit of brightness on here. And you can see I'm just spinning away, and look how well that works under the RGB. Go under scene, and you can see all our scenes are all laid out. And you've got your different speeds, slow, normal, or fast, and all your different scene effects on here. It is really handy to have all that on there, and you can adjust your power all the way, right? So it's all in there. That's it. That's it, guys. That's how fast, that's how easy the app works. And 20 meters away, supposedly. Amazing. Now, my conclusions on this. Now, I did play with it a bit between the unboxing and the going over on how things work. I absolutely love this thing. I thought it was fantastic. Now, everything does have a few quirks or bugs. One thing being the recharging using the USB and the USB-C is still a bit jiggly in there. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it could be just my unit. But it does charge up and it works just fine. The other thing is you only have an hour battery life on full. I can kind of understand it, but I wish it was a little greater than that. And the 3 hour from dead, mine was 4 hour. So there is a fair amount of recharge time to it. But other than those little bits, the app worked flawlessly. The back of the unit works flawlessly. The fact that you can magnetic to something, you can screw, it's got 2 tripod mounts on it. It's great. I absolutely love this. I'm not saying this just because they gave me this unit. If you know this and my channel, if it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. Now, if there's any problems with this in the future, I will definitely do an update and let you know what the problem is and if there's any fix available for it. But at this point in time, yeah, I recommend this light. I can see a lot of uses for it, and I think I can create some creative content with it. But all right, guys, I know this video's run long, but we had a lot to cover. Unboxing, going over all the back controls, going over the app control. So I'm going to cut it off here. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you're aware when I post new videos like this. And if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. So, until the next time.